It was different, and it was a very cool presentation. And on the way here, you guys are going to do a couple of promos, and we're going to play both of those. But in Rick's promo, he says something like, Double A, so many people in life never have an opportunity to stand next to greatness, to be around greatness, much less touch greatness. And tonight, my friend, you're going to face greatness. And then Mean Gene asks if he hates you, and Rick says the problem is I love him, but I love him so much that tonight I got to show him why he's going to have to explain to his little boy, or I'm going to have to explain to mine, that there's only one king of the hill, and in Nashville or Asheville, North Carolina, it's the Nature Boy. So a pretty cool promo where he starts off, holding up the four fingers, showing the Four Horsemen sign, and then later we see a package that sort of chronicled the split between you two, and we'll play that here on the show. But then we get to your promo. In this era, I don't think you were given a script and expected to memorize it and say it word for word. How did you put together this promo to the best of your recollection?
Well, number one, Rick's promo was 100% dead on. That's what the story was. And on a shoot, very few people in this industry ever get to be in the top match on a pay-per-view in an angle with your best friend with all of the other talent sitting out in the crowd. 100%. I was going to get to touch greatness. Now, if Sting was in that role and all that set up where the whole thing was the same, or Ricky Steamboat, or anybody you'd want to name, Ricky Morton, Hulk Hogan, any of those guys, Randy Savage, you name it, if they would have been in the ring with Rick, it would have looked like business as usual. This is a big match. This is huge. But for me to have been in that situation, he was right. He was going to spank me in front of the world because that's what he felt I needed. I, in turn, felt like, I always thought I had your respect, always felt like I did. But since apparently I don't, tomorrow morning you're going to wake up and you're going to respect me, and I'm going to respect myself. And that was the crux of the two interviews.
Mean Gene Okerlund right now is standing by with a man who's just about set to go with the match of his life. We're talking about the enforcer, Arn Anderson. Gene, take it away.
All right, Tony, I apologize. I didn't realize we're going to be a mile and a half run. I felt like Roger Bannister coming up from that. Arn Anderson, come on in. Before I talk to you regarding your matchup with Ric Flair, I want you to take a look at some of the history between the two of you that has taken place. Let's go.
Family ties have been severed between Ric Flair and Arn Anderson, and there is no turning back. Arn had done his best to help Ric Flair continue to hang on. As Ric Flair hides behind the enforcer, fans could sense that there were problems in the Horseman stable. The first time, given. This time was not forgotten. Vader felt the play. He used the turmoil between these two and capitalized on it. It was quite obvious that the problems were more than just a family tiff. Something was wrong.
Now, Rick, I know we didn't leave the match the way we wanted to. There's nobody to blame here.
Was it all okay between Double A and Ric Flair? Ric Flair looked as if he was taking advantage of a good situation as he left Double A in the ring the majority of the time. Has Ric Flair lost his drive? Since Hulk Hogan has arrived, Flair has not been the competitor of old. His obsession to be number one has caused problems in the home front and alienated him from his friends. And now, Ric Flair has been pushed harder than ever to prove himself a champion. When Rick faced Alex Wright, it was apparent that Double A wanted Flair to show that had the drive to excel. The flamboyant Nature Boy then ran off at the mouth. Arn let out his frustration in a candid interview.
Got everything in the world. He should be floating on cloud nine. I don't know what's wrong with him.
Fans deserve to hear more. Arn's wife let the cameras into their home. Arn's explosion continued on. Soon after, fans walked up to an unexpected locker room shouting match.
He's got a match, all right. It's not out there. Let me explain something. Flair just went out the back door. He's left me again.
Double A, I think you know what you are. That's why you're in the ring with me at Fall Brawl. What I got to do to you, pal, is prove why I've been where I've been for a lifetime. Woo!
There is no longer time for understanding. Families often hurt the ones they love most. This time, there's no way to patch things up. The family feud you never thought you'd see has come to a reality. Ric Flair and Arn Anderson on opposing sides, riding in different directions, but colliding on the same course at Fall Brawl.
Gene Okerlund, whether you hate me, whether you love me, whether you respect me or you don't respect me, the one thing I've always given everybody is I've always called a spade a spade. I've either loved with a passion or I've hated with a passion and with a vengeance. And everybody has had a family member at one time or the other that was messing up. And you had to grab them and you had to shake them because words no longer mattered. Well, Ric Flair, I've been back here. My stomach has been in knots. My heart's been pounding out of my chest, and I wouldn't be telling the truth if I didn't tell you I'm a nervous wreck because I got to trade fists with somebody that I love more than God itself. You understand? You've been a brother to me when I didn't have one. Now I got to go trade fists with you. But it's something that's got to happen because when I get up in the morning and look in that mirror, I got to answer to me. And if you don't stand up in this world, all a man can do is stand up and live by his word, right or wrong. Tonight, I give Asheville, I give the world, and I give you, Ric Flair, my word on this. I'm going to give you all I got as a man, and win, lose, or draw, trust me, I'm going to respect myself in the morning, and you're going to respect me.
All right, the man is headed to the ring. I'd asked Ric Flair earlier if he loved or hated Arn Anderson. Yes, he loved him, and he loved him for many years, but apparently both of these men have to meet tonight in what I suspect is going to be a classic match. Everywhere I have gone, people are abuzz about this one. Tony Schiavone, I'd like an assessment from you and Bobby the Brain Heenan. What do you think?
Well, Gene, first of all, let me say it was in the mid-1980s when professional wrestling saw its boom. It went worldwide. Packed arenas, jam-packed arenas all across the country. Many, many weeks, this arena, the Asheville Civic Center, was jam-packed with the likes of the Nature Boy Ric Flair and Arn Anderson. They were always on the same team. The fans here love both men. They've hated both men, but they've respected both men. Now, for the first time ever, they will see these two classic wrestlers go at it one-on-one.
It's very simple. It's like that old saying goes. Tonight, you either wrestle or get off the mat.
Arn Anderson said he was nervous. Well, we are all nervous right now. As we go to David Penzer, the match we'd never thought we'd see.
Really, really good stuff, and we've got both of those here on the show. Do you, in this era, pre-tape these early in the afternoon, or when would you have laid this promo down, and who would have been the producers in the room, or just talk us through that process here at 95?
It was live, and they trusted me to do it live, and I was heading to the ring right from there, and my nerves were shot. My stomach was churning. Matter of fact, which I've never done before, I've seen done by a lot of guys, you know, in this business. When you walk through that curtain, it's just you, or it's the partners that you have with you. But if it's just you, you walk through that curtain, it's you against the audience and your dance partner. It's up to you to go out and tell a story. I puked in a trash can on the way. I've never done that before, never done it since. And it was just because of the hugeness of when I'm going through the curtain this time. It was like a different point in my career. It was a standalone point. It might not ever be that big again, with all the trappings and all the stories surrounded around it and all the other talent pitching in to make it as big as what it was going to be. And to have an angle on the end of it, and me to actually come out of this thing winning, that's a little bit for one guy that's been a second fiddle his whole career to swallow. And I got no problem saying it. So I gave it a good puke. Wish I could have had time to brush my teeth, but hey, that's Rick's problem. So that's the way it was. Nobody gave me a script. Nobody told me what to say. It was entirely all mine. And it's, you know what? I don't remember in the history of my career anyone ever saying to me, here's what you got to say. Now, here's how long you have. You got 3:30. We're talking about Richmond or we're talking about Greensboro. Here's your opponents. Fill in the blanks. And that's it. That's how you learn how to do promos, because they become an extension of who you are. Just going out there and like you've crammed for a test and memorizing a full page of verbiage and delivering it. Well, okay, I got all the words you wanted out, but I had no emotion behind it. Nobody believed that was coming out of me, and it's pretty easy to spot when it's not coming out of a person. If you cram for a test, it's gone tomorrow, and that's why in today's world, not a lot of guys are great promo guys because they're not having an opportunity to learn.
Well, you guys are masters on the mic, both you and Rick, and these are two very, very memorable promos.